What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of R&R. As always, I'm Logan.
I'm Ethan, and today we're going to be going over defensive handgun for beginners. We're going to be going over just pretty much everything from the ground level up. We're not going to go over basic handgun safety. I mean, we can talk about it real quick. Always keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction. Keep your finger off the trigger. Always know what's beyond your target. All that comes into play with self-defense. But we're going to go over a little bit of, proper grip, proper stance, just the small fundamentals. We're not going to go in depth on anything. We're going to talk about trigger pull, trigger press, all that stuff. But
yeah, it would be kind of anything from someone who's never picked up a pistol before to someone who's maybe had a little bit of training, not necessarily classes, but is familiar with the weapon system. As you can see, everything we have here is 9mm. We shoot strictly 9mm.
yeah, but we live in Ohio. If we lived somewhere out west where there was a possibility of grizzly bear,
be bigger, 10
mountain
mil.
lions, whatever, we'd have 10 mil, 357 SIG, something along those lines. But
yeah, everything here will majority have a dot. We are primarily dot shooters. We do have a few without, just to kind of cater to that group of people that may not have a dot yet, or just doesn't like shooting a dot.
Yeah, and one of the things too is just to start out, just we're doing this whole tabletop thing to begin with, is something you'll see that we have a common denominator on 4 out of the 6 guns is having a weapon mounted light. Your biggest thing is in a self-defense situation, you got to be able to PID, positive identification. So it's kind of hard to do at night if you don't have something to illuminate, or if you don't have night vision or whatever. So if you are carrying a pistol without a light, it would be very prudent for you to carry a handheld light and to practice shooting with that handheld light. There's just been too many situations where somebody uses a gun for a defensive situation, or they think a defensive situation ends up not being a defensive situation. Somebody loses their life for no reason. So that's one thing is make sure you have a good weapon light. The other thing is holster recommendations. You've got to decide where you want to carry. We both carry primarily when we're carrying concealed appendix. I know a lot of people that's not really, they don't like it. They're scared of it, whatever it may be, which that's fine. But the big thing is when you start carrying a handgun is to have a good holster, spend the money, get a good holster, and to get a very good weapon belt. So a gun belt, something that's very rigid, because that's the difference between having a gun be comfortable and a gun not be comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, you're not going to carry your gun. You're going to end up leaving the house without it and just make excuses.
And you could also say, well, I can off carry, or off body carry.
Yeah, throw it in a purse or a bag.
Purse or a book bag, which it is, a possibility, but that's that extra 5 to 10 seconds of, having to unzip it, pull it out, get it ready, whatever else.
And somebody can possibly steal that bag.
Yeah.
So, so that's just kind of some of the beginning stuff. All right, real quick, we're gonna go over proper grip. So first thing is we'll show this. Just if you're not familiar with it, this is how you clear a pistol. So any kind of auto loader, you're gonna rack it to the rear, lock the slide, make sure the brass comes out. And then you're gonna visually look in here and make sure you don't see any brass in the chamber at all. Make sure there's nothing in the mag well. So we know the gun's clear, point in a safe direction, pull the trigger, we're good. So we're gonna go over just proper technique on grip real fast. So on any of your modern handguns, and we're talking about auto loaders, we're not talking about revolvers. You do have to do a little bit something different with them. But I like to get my hand up to where I'm gripping pretty strong with my shooting hand, my dominant hand. My off hand, all this space right here, I'm gonna fill in with my other hand. I'm gonna rest my thumbs like this. I'm not touching the slide, so it's not gonna stop the slide from reciprocating properly. But so once you get that good grip, you're filling in that space. That's when you push out, line up your sights, line up your dot on whatever you're pointing at, and then you want to dry fire at the house, completely empty gun, and you want to be able to do that right there. Aim at something on the wall, aim at a light switch, because what's going to happen is your body gets used to that recoil. You're going to go to break the trigger and it's going to dip. You don't want to do that. You want there to be absolutely no movement on the front of the gun, just a clean break. So, but yeah, that's just real quick on proper grip. When you're pushing out, there's different people do different things. I come from the Magpul dynamic era, so I still tend to probably lock my arms out just a little bit too much. Sorry, I switched over to the rolling special for a little bit. So a lot of people now do the whole leaving a little bit of slack in your arms. So as you're walking, you can kind of do this. I still tend to lock out quite a bit, manage that recoil really well. So when you're coming from the holster, have your offhand meat right here, putting in a half empty mag so we can go over show you guys the reload. So as you draw, offhand meets the pistol. As you're pushing out, you don't want to be fishing, so you don't want to come out barrel up. You don't want to be bowling. You want to try to push that gun straight out. Get it, and as soon as you line the sights, break the shot. So I'll show you guys kind of a little bit faster, not going crazy fast though. So draw, offhand meets, pushing straight out. As soon as the sights come up into target. So, all right, so right there, I've got a dead trigger, and I can visually see just by tilting the gun ever so slightly, we've got a reload in our hands. So when I'm going to reload, I'm shooting right down there, down at range, shooting at that target. I'm gonna get my thumb onto the mag release, push the mag release, and then I've got my rounds oriented bullet forward. So as I come in, I've got my index finger pretty much touching the end of that bullet, and it's pretty easy. Just point that finger straight there, come up. You can either come across rack, whatever, or you can hit it with your slide release. I tend to just do this motion. I kind of keep my thumb above the slide release. Probably not the best thing to do. And then when I seat it, it racks forward, push back out. So we'll kind of show that. We'll show that just a little bit faster here. So push out, fire, reload. So, and one of the ways to do that is if you just have an empty mag, you want to practice your reloads. So, and that's also another thing is doing this kind of stuff. We're kind of testing different stuff. I'm used to running just vertical mag carriers. I'm trying out the new fancy canted. It's supposed to be faster. I don't know if I can tell a difference yet, but time will tell. We're going to just do a little bit of an intro on what we do when we first get down to the range, a little behind the scenes almost. We're going to show you guys how we get warmed up, what we're looking for, what we're doing. So right here, completely cold, just painted the steel, just loaded up a bunch of mags. Logan's going to give me a threat call. I'm going to draw out, I'm going to push, I'm going to pull the trigger, I'm going to see where the first round hits, make sure it hits good. And then I'm going to bring the sights back down, and I'm going to keep on going. And I'm going to pick up the pace. I'm going to keep on picking up the cadence and pretty much give it more gas so we can kind of, get into that rhythm. So,
Threat.
So first shot, make sure it's nice and centered, which it is. Bring that straight back down. See, so I kept on going faster and faster until I started to see two of them start to get out of that main group. So this is just kind of a, I don't know, we'll call it the gas pedal drill. Just something where you can just keep on picking up this pace, picking up the cadence, until you start to see that group spread out a little bit. All right, guys, I hope you kind of like what we did today. If you do like it, this is kind of a different format of a video for us. Let us know what you think, comment, hey, you guys suck, or hey, that's actually pretty cool, it's informative, whatever. Just let us know, because we're still kind of new to this thing.
I mean, feedback is feedback.
Feedback is feedback.
Realistically, good or bad, constructive criticism. I mean, we got tough skin. We're not gonna get all butthurt about nothing. I mean,
yeah.
Even there might be people that are watching this that are
way more advanced
than us, that have taken hundreds of classes and thousands of hours and tens of thousands of rounds. And nothing's ever gonna hurt us. Just gaining more knowledge.
Yeah. So. Let us know how you guys like it though.
But as always, guys, if you do like the content, please like and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time with your daily dose of R&R.
We'll see you guys.